What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new Pokemon Unite video. I didn't think I was going to be making another one so quickly. I literally uploaded this morning and now here we are. It is 9 o'clock at night for me, and I saw just like an hour ago or so that the official Pokemon Unite YouTube channel actually released a brand new trailer announcing 3 new Pokemon that are coming to Unite starting next month in September. We're going to go ahead and actually look at the trailer and just talk a little bit about what they actually announced in it. So here is the trailer that they actually revealed earlier today, actually, like literally just an hour and a half ago, on the official YouTube channel of Pokemon Unite, as well as the Twitter account, I believe. And as you guys can see, Empoleon is officially coming to Unite. He has been rumored for Unite for a long time now, and he is officially revealed. And not only that, but we also have another Pokemon, of course, this one being Delmise, and it looks like this might be our first Unite Pokemon that has the ability to hook enemies. That's something that we have seen in a lot of other MOBAs, you know, Blitzcrank, or even other types of games like Roadhog, for example, being able to hook enemies into your team and stuff. And we also got Vaporeon announced as well, which means we got another one of those evolutions. Now what is it, just I think it's just Flareon and Jolteon that are missing. So those are our 3 new Pokemon coming to Unite. They also showcased Groudon, which of course we actually covered in a previous video. Groudon will be replacing Rayquaza, and one of the new effects that they highlighted here in the trailer is that if you take down an enemy that has Groudon buff, you will actually steal the buff for yourself. It's going to really change up those late game team fights, I think. And yeah, that's pretty much the trailer. That's what we have to look forward to going into September, of course, and going even further beyond that. And it just looks really, really exciting. So first things first, of course, Empoleon was announced, and again, he was someone that was heavily rumored, I think, for a long time now in Unite. A lot of people wanted him in the game. A lot of people said he was eventually going to be added, and now it is official. Now he is going to be coming next month in September, which is really, really exciting. And what they showed so far of his kit, he looks like he's just going to be such a fun character to actually play. They, of course, also showed Delmise, which I just mentioned. Feels like it's going to be the first Pokemon that has the ability to like hook enemies into your team, similar to other games that I mentioned right now, Roadhog in Overwatch, Blitzcrank in as well as Thresh in League of Legends and stuff like that. Just being able to hook an enemy, displace them, put them next to your team, and then your team can just blow them up. It looks like he also has the ability to actually hook someone and then he goes to them, so that's going to be a very interesting mechanic as well. Again, very similar to someone like Thresh from League of Legends. I was actually wondering, like, where is the hook Pokemon? Like every one of these MOBAs and hero shooters and stuff has this kind of character, that type of, you know, mechanic, but it was missing from Pokemon Unite, and it's cool now that we're gonna have something very similar to that. They also showcased Vaporeon, of course. Vaporeon looked absolutely amazing. Another evolution being added now. There's only 2 of them that are missing. I imagine eventually Flareon and Jolteon will probably make their way to the game as well. Based off one of my previous Unite videos, we also know that it is heavily rumored, based off some in-game files that were found by El Chico Eevee, which is one of the most popular Unite leakers. It also seems like Mega Charizard X might be another playable Pokemon that is coming to Unite, and if that one ends up being true, that means the 4 next Pokemon that could be coming to Unite would be Empoleon, Delmise, Vaporeon, and Mega Charizard X. That kind of gives us an idea as to what we can expect for upcoming Pokemon. As we all know, in the month of September all the way up to December, they will be releasing 2 new playable Unite licenses in the game per month, and so that means we're going to get a total of 8 brand new playable characters. And if Mega Charizard X is one of those, that means we basically know half of that upcoming roster now. Assuming that Mega Charizard X is one of the upcoming Unite licenses that is coming to Unite in the months of September all the way up to December, again, that means we know half of them that are coming. There's supposed to be 8 total. We know 4 of them now. So I imagine those other 4 that haven't been revealed yet in really any type of way, I imagine they're probably going to tie into Pokemon Legends ZA, since we know that they are going to be doing sort of a crossover type of thing, event with that game. Maybe Mega Charizard X is the crossover type of Pokemon. Maybe there is some additional ones or stuff. It did kind of sound like they were going to be adding multiple new Mega Evolutions in Unite, like playable Mega Evolutions. And so if they are adding Mega Charizard X, I imagine they're going to be adding at least one more Mega. I'm not entirely sure as to which one it is. However, if I had to personally guess, I've again mentioned this in my previous videos, Mega Dragonite seems like it would be a really good choice since it is a brand new Mega Evolution and Dragonite is already in Unite. So just like Charizard, it would basically just be updating an already existing Unite character. Now to go back to the Pokemon that we do know are coming to Unite though, Empoleon, Dhelmise, and Vaporeon, of course. If I had to guess as to what roles these characters would be, I think Empoleon is probably going to be either a speedster or an all-rounder. I don't know, he just kind of gives me the vibe of being either speedster just because of the fact that we saw him like riding around in waves and stuff like that, but at the same time too, he does give me a little bit of like a kind of like a bruiser in League of Legends. Like he can do damage, but he's also kind of tanky. He just gives me that vibe, so maybe he'll be an all-rounder. I'm not entirely sure, but I could honestly see it going either way. Dhelmise, I imagine, is just going to straight up be a defender. He just seems really tanky. Obviously, he's kind of like an anchor and stuff, so he just seems tanky, and the ability to hook someone, of course, you kind of have to be tanky to do that, right? Because you're hooking someone into you, or you're hooking yourself into someone, and so obviously you're going to take damage and stuff, so that just tells me that he's going to be a tank, basically. And then Vaporeon as well, I could kind of see it going either way. I could see the speedster role going to Vaporeon. I could also just see him being an attacker. It kind of looked like he's going to be dealing a lot of damage based off what they've shown in that little clip of his gameplay and stuff, so I could see it going either way. But yeah, I'm really excited for these three Pokemon. You know, they got that whole water vibe going, which is really cool, all three of them being like very water centric Pokemon and stuff, and it just seems really, really cool. That sneak peek of Groudon as well, I'm really excited for Groudon, just because, as we all know right now with Rayquaza, like 9 times out of 10, the team that gets Rayquaza wins the match, right? Even if they're behind, the team that gets that Rayquaza shield and that faster scoring, they're probably going to end up winning the match after they score like 500 points in 10 seconds. And so it can feel a little bit one-sided with whatever team ends up getting Rayquaza and stuff. A lot of times that's when people just surrender. However, with Groudon now, I feel like it's really going to change up the late game, just because even if you lose Groudon, if you manage to win the team fight, you can still steal the Groudon buff. And really all it would take is just one enemy dying with that Groudon buff, transferring it over to the other team, and then that person could potentially snowball the fight, and then now the team that got the Groudon buff could just completely die and pass it on to the enemy team and stuff. There's just a lot of possibilities there. You know, a lot of times when people finish the Rayquaza, they kind of split up to go score. Maybe people are going to do the same with Groudon, and then someone gets caught, and then boom, now your team has a Groudon buff on your guys' side, and maybe winning a team fight is much more realistic now, and then more of you guys get the Groudon buff. There's just a lot of possibilities, and I feel like it's going to make it so that those late game fights are going to matter much more, and they're going to be worth playing more. It's not going to be what it is like with Rayquaza, where when you don't get Rayquaza, you kind of just feel like you lost, and then people try to surrender and stuff like that, or they just go AFK in the fountain. I don't think that, well, at least I hope that that's not going to happen anymore because of the potential with stealing that Groudon buff. But yeah, overall, this is a really, really exciting update from Pokemon Unite. Really excited to get my hands on Empoleon, to be completely honest, and also really looking forward to see how Groudon changes the late game in Pokemon Unite. Let me know what you guys think about this reveal down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure to do so. We're getting super close to our first 1,000 subscribers. That would be really cool if we could hit that before the end of this year. And yeah, guys, hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.